Huge thanks to Kurt Dixon for joining over on the Patreon in the main event tier. Thank you for your support on this and all content on the channel. If you want to join the Patreon and support the channel, you can join either the ringside tier, the main event tier, or the tribal chief tier. And the latter two get you access to save games and graphics. If you're interested, the link is in the description down below. But once again, thanks a lot to Kurt Dixon for supporting the channel. Welcome back to Local to Global 1992 on Total Extreme Wrestling 9. This is Spike Piledriver and my name is Anders. In this episode, we're going to try and fix the backstage mess that's been creeping in over the last few episodes and try and get everything turned around as we start to progress through the year 1996. If you are new here, make sure you get yourself subscribed, like the video, check out the other episodes in this series, in the WCW 2000 series, in the Becoming All Elite series, if that's continuing, and everything else. Basically, check out everything here on the channel, get subscribed, support in any way you can. There's a Patreon link in the description down below as well. Don't be afraid to click it. Right, as mentioned, today we're going to try and fix our backstage mess. But before we get into that, we'll set the scene a little bit. This is Spike Piledriver Wrestling. We have 3 championships. Raven is our World Heavyweight Champion, and that's a championship that is now a World Championship because it's been defended in the US, Great Britain, and Japan. It was unified with the British Heavyweight Championship from All Star Wrestling just a mere month ago. So Raven has been champion since October of 1995. He's currently a 2-time champion. Defeated Rob Van Dam back in our season finale event, Collision Course, in October. We also have tag team champions who are currently the Eliminators in their second reign as well. These are World Tag Team Championships because they once again were defended in Great Britain and unified with the British Open Tag Team Championships. If you missed where we bought both All Star Wrestling and Network of Wrestling, I think was the company in Japan that we bought, check out the previous episode. It's a lot of fun if you like seeing me suffer and spend a lot of money. But there we go, yeah. So the Eliminators are 2-time tag team champions as well. They are 128 days into their reign. They've been champions since December. And then Rob Van Dam is our World Television Champion. He has been champion since the beginning of March. It's only 37 days in, but he's already got 7 successful title defenses now. The structure of our company is we have a weekly television show on a Friday called Unleashed. That is block booked 4 weeks at a time. So basically we go through and book 4 episodes and try and keep it quite condensed into the number of wrestlers we book on those shows. Now we've got a little bit more money, we're going to try and expand it a little bit. And then we also have a monthly event that up until now has been an hour long each month, and we've kind of gone to about 75 minutes. We've now changed it, so every event is now an hour and a half. So that is our regular monthly event, and we're also potentially going to continue running an hour-long event in the UK every month, basically as a bit of a money spinner, because we earned so much on ticket sales with that event last time around, because we got 2,500 people in attendance, and it was absolutely ridiculous how much money we earned from it. And that's because, if we look at our size here, this is our American popularity. Southeast is where we're based. 41 is our popularity there. But after buying All Star Wrestling, we've got 48 in Northern England. Not quite enough to get any TV deals in the UK, though, because our Southern English popularity is only at 26. I think we need it to be at 30 or maybe 29 or something like that to get on Challenge, and then we get coverage across the whole country, and that'd be fantastic. But we're not quite there yet. Also, Japan, we've got enough popularity in Kanto to get on the network that just covers that region, but they also are at WCW, so we can't get on them either. We've obviously now, we've got a broadcasting deal for our events on PBS, so that means we get good coverage in the US and Canada, so we're going to start building up our Canadian popularity as well. But our TV is still on the small syndication network in the US, and we can't extend that or change that for a while yet because of the broadcasting deal glitch that hadn't been fixed when we last updated our broadcasting deal. So we've got it for a long time. So we've got good coverage. In fact, can we see our coverage? Let's hang on. There's the right button. So yeah, for events, we've got medium coverage in the US and Canada. For TV, it's just small coverage in the US. So not brilliant, but we're getting there. We're getting bigger. Obviously, we're still only a small company. Still only got 41 in our home region. So we're getting bigger as we go through. And looking at our finances, last month, obviously, we only made a loss of 13 grand when we spent 36 on 2 companies. A lot of money was spent on show costs and workers. I mean, we held 2 shows in the Great Britain, we held a show in Japan, we held 2 blocks of 4 TV tapings and a monthly event. So there's a lot of stuff going on in March, and to only come out with a 13 grand loss was quite impressive. We made a lot more than that in February, but obviously we've changed a few production things in March as well, so we've spent a lot on production, trying to weasel our way into a better TV deal as well, but it kind of worked. So we'll see how we get on in April. That'll be something to keep an eye on there. Right, there's also been a request to look at some other workers around. So what I've done here is I've simply gone to hire based in the, or can work in the US, and people with 70 basics and 70 psychology, and I'll just have this on page here and slowly scroll down, and you can basically shout out in the comments if there's anyone you want me to look at in more detail, and we'll see if we can hire them, basically, and see if they are worth the money spent to get them in. There's a lot of people on this list. I could refine it further, but I'm not going to. There's just a lot here. And also, there's a lot of people we've just signed as we're going into this video, because as I've said, we're trying to fix our backstage morale and issues. So you'll see our roster now stands at 47. We've made a few situations, so we've got a few situations of contracts ending, rather, is what I'm trying to say. Pitbull 1's off to the WWF in 10 days. We've got the Pitbull 2 contract to end just after that. We then also have a few people whose contracts end in a month who we are probably going to re-sign. Some we might not. Then in 3 months' time, there's another wave of contracts that are potentially ending that we may not extend, that we may extend some of them at least, and then you can see we go through and through and through. And we're also looking to extend the contracts, or rather end the contracts of Brian Lee and Tommy Angel, because we're just not using them. They've not won since the end of 1993 when their tag title reign ended. They're just essentially jobbing every time we book them, so we kind of just ran out of use for them. So there, we're going to book them on a 1-month contract, and then they'll be gone by the end of it. We're also looking to sign Jerry Lawler and Dino Bravo, and they haven't come through yet with an answer. But we have signed a lot of people. So if we go here and just reset, sorry, that was just looking at who'd got popularity in the UK. We'll go through the roster and I'll show you who's new. So Adam Impact, Edge, he's not new. He's been around a while now. Alex Porto is new. What I've basically done is looked through my existing roster and gone, who have you got good relationships with? Made a list of them, and then done a search for those people and made sure I've not signed anyone with a bad personality. And hopefully that'll improve our backstage. So we've signed a lot of people, some on short deals, some potentially will be around for longer. But Alex Porto is the first one. He, if we quickly look, I'm not going to go through everyone, but he's got a good relationship with Dutch Mantel. So that's why he's here. So there we go. That's me. There's Angus King. He's Kane. He's also part of the Nest with Edge, Christian and Raven. He's been around since the beginning. Billy well, not quite from the beginning, but near enough. Billy Kidman, he's one whose contract is ending soon. We're not quite sure what we're doing with him yet. He's just kind of a bit of a job guy. Black Dragon, he's new. Essentially, he's new. Black Shadow Jr. 2, he's been around since the beginning of the year and haven't really used him much. He's just a bit of a jobber, essentially. Booker T, been around since year dot. Trying to get him on a bit of a singles push as well. Brian Lawler, he's been around for most of this year. Again, not sure where we're going with him. Brian Lee, we've already mentioned. Buddy Lee Parker, new signing. And he's got, if we quickly look, he's got some good popularity on him as well, so we will be able to use him towards the top end of the card. Chris Candido is someone else who's got very cold momentum. He's been around a little while now, 2+ years. Chris Jericho, former television champion, current #1 contender for the heavyweight championship. Christian Cage, again, member of the Nest. Christopher Daniels, job guy. Cinta de Oro, again, job guy, not really used him much. Don E. Allen, job guy, not really using him much. Dwayne Gill, mid-card jobber, I guess. Gilberg. He's got some popularity on him, though, so he's just left the WWF. Kind of still got something to do with him. Dutch Mantel is our colour commentator who's got poor chemistry with our play-by-play announcer and our head road agent. Jeff Hardy, Joe Kazana, comment section's favourite wrestler. Let me know down in the comments how much you love the Golden Boy. John Diamond, no idea who he is. Signed him to team with Simon Diamond as Rough Cut because they both got the surname Diamond. So there you go. John Cronus, half the tag champions. Juventud Guerrero, best buds with Rey Mysterio. And, well, we're flying him over from England every now and then. He'll probably, because he only works for us, shift over to the southeast soon enough anyway. Lance Storm, because we should have signed him when we signed Jericho, and for some reason I was being tight with the purse strings and didn't. And now Jericho is a hell of a lot more over than his tag team partner, so he probably won't be his tag team partner, but he's got some good Canadian popularity, so we might as well make use of that when we've got shows being broadcast in Canada. Mark Curtis, because he's best friends with loads of people on the roster, and he's a really, really good referee and road agent. He's got 93 refereeing, so we've got rid of Dave Hebner, by the way. He's gone. Marty Garner, again, one of the Hardys' best friends. He's just come in. He's going to hang around and be a job guy for a couple of months and then go again. Matt Hardy. There's Perry Saturn, half the tag champs. Pitbull 1, Pitbull 2 are leaving. Raven, world champion. Currently a little bit annoyed for some reason, but whatever. Rey Mysterio is also annoyed, but he's one of our most over wrestlers as well after a great run with a TV title. Rhino, we pushed a little bit last episode and got his popularity up, but he didn't really set the world on fire, so he's probably going to go on the back burner a little bit right now. Ricky Nelson, again, another job guy we're not really using much. RVD, current world television champion, former heavyweight champion. He's going to be featuring quite a lot. Sabu we brought in because he's Rob Van Dam's best mate. So they'll probably have an angle at some point. Savio Vega has been around for about 4 months. He's a good trainer, but we haven't used him much so far on shows. Scott Armstrong brought in to do a similar job to the last Armstrong brother we brought in, who's just basically to job to everyone and get some popularity off him. Scott Hudson, play-by-play. Scotty Riggs, he's back again. He performed poorly in 1992, but he's friends with RVD, so we'll bring him in and see how he gets on. Shane Helms, again, Hardy Boys connection. Shanghai Pierce, he's one of the Godwins. Can't remember which one. Not the one that's not Midian. Essentially, he's a former tag team champion. Shannon Moore, again, Hardy Boys connection. He's new. Simon Diamond, new. He's going to be part of Rough Cuts, as I mentioned. Stevie Ray, brother and tag partner of Booker T. He's been around since the beginning. Super Crazy has been around a little while. Again, another sort of lower card luchador. There's Midian. Again, former tag champion. Tito Santana, we brought in here because he's great, essentially, and he's got lots of popularity everywhere. He's really handy, really good. We'll probably transition him to a road agent as well at some point when he nears retirement. Tommy Angel, we mentioned, he's leaving. Tommy Dreamer, man of the people. He's just on the roster doing a good job in the mid-card as part of the people's favourite tag team. And that's the roster. There's a lot of people on the roster, a lot of new people as well. But we've got stuff to do. Right. So that means our backstage situation is now average. It was very poor, I think, before, but the likes of Jimmy Del Rey and Bill Watts have gone. Dave Hebner is gone. Tatanka, who was starting to get angry and was injured, is gone. So we're slowly weeding out people who are red here, and now this list of positive influences is now massive. Notable relationships, it's all friends wrestling, basically. And then we're starting to get rid of some of the notable negative factors. So we want to get rid of these open forums. Don't do open forums. They have a short-term boost, but they hang around on this page for a while. But that's that situation. Our events, we've kind of already touched on as well. The calendar we're going to go through. So let's go and book Legacy. I think it's only fair. I have already pre-booked the show, so it will take a few seconds to just add the card together. But we'll probably go through and make sure that we're not... We're gonna give a few people the night off, basically, who are not being booked. So if we go to Major Star and try and remember who's not booked tonight. Can we remember? I think it's RVD. The Eliminators are booked. I'm trying to look on this list here. Kane is not booked, I don't think. No, Kane's not booked. RVD's not booked. Jericho's booked. Booker T's not booked. Booker, Kane, and RVD. Right, so give you. He'll give me a warning if I try and give them the night off when they are booked. And then where did I say RVD? I think Scott Armstrong's not booked as well. Right, there we go. We'll just give the few main eventers who are not booked the night off so they don't get annoyed with us. And then we'll go Soundstage 19, Universal Studios. Is that where we're going to go tonight? Where's that? How many people can hold that one in that one? 1,400? Well, yeah, I mean, what's the difference between Soundstage 21 and Soundstage 19? We'll go with it. We'll select that venue. Yes, we'll go with Soundstage 19. We've got a venue now. Wonderful. Although less people are going to turn up because we lost the regional battle. Finalised broadcasters. We're going to broadcast on PBS. Of course we are. So we've got a bit of coverage in the Canadian regions as well. Booking team meeting. Who we've got in the booking team tonight. Myself, Raven, Joe Kazana and Tommy Dreamer. And we've got loads of creative energy to spend here. We've got a John Cronus creative finish to get used as well. Let's get a couple of creative finishes in the bank as well. That's a Jericho one. We can use that. Another one, let's do. And that's a Shanghai Pierce one, which we can't use tonight, I don't think. Right, locker room incidents. Hopefully everything's going to be nice and good. Sure, Swole, you can turn up. Not going to book you, but David Walby, again, I'm not going to book you, but whatever. Donnie Allen's getting ribbed for how much he started being influenced by Tito Santana already. Tito's only been around for a couple of days. Thanks, Tito. Ricky Nelson's bright in the mood. This is good. Matt Hardy was bought before wrestlers caught accused failing. Okay, Tito's just had a little word with him. Full cost, reimburse. Yep, fine. Savio Vega's trained people. And that's it. Nothing negative. Wonderful. That's what we like to see. Right. Legacy last year got a 54. The year before, 42. 38 and 52 the first year. So we need to get a good card booked tonight. Right, pre-booking. Let's have a look if we can drop in a few matches, essentially. Oh, yes, sorry, we've got Tito Santana as raid agent there. Let's put Dutch Montel in, and that's okay. Then we'll have the Raven Tito segment. Jericho and Buddy Lee Parker is also going to happen tonight. We want to use a creative finish that we've now got. If we can go down here, Chris Jericho creative finish. Yeah, might as well use it. It's a bit of a gamble, but it should be okay. There's the Jericho angle. And then we're going to have the Eliminators. And what we normally have is Perry Saturn winning, but we're going to have John Cronus winning because we can use a creative finish, which has got John Cronus' name against it. It's likely to succeed as well, so we'll go for that one, and they can defend the titles there. Then we're going to have Rey Mysterio as a bit of his Lucha showcase, and we go in there. Right, that's everything booked. We're at 84% matches, which is fine. We've got 3 angles, 93 minutes, well within the guidelines. Booking analysis is all good to go, and we've not got any major stars not booked. I mean, we might get a few people a little bit annoyed out of this bunch, but we will go through now and go through Legacy because, well, let's do it. 1,306 people filling out nearly the Soundstage 19 at Universal Studios, and we start with the Suicide Blondes getting a victory over the Pitbulls in probably their final match. Well, yes, their final match, because the TV taping is after Pitbull 1 starts full-time with the WWF. And Impact and Cage got a good victory there. Performances are slowly coming up as well. Pitbull 1 will be missed. And it gets a 44 rating overall for the match, which is a good start to the show. Downward Spiral gets the job done for Adam Impact on Pitbull number 1. Hopefully that's going to improve their popularity for both of the Suicide Blondes. And we move on to a 6-man, which is basically Ray and a couple of luchadors against the Hardy Boyfriends. So Ray, Hoovy, and Super Crazy get the victory over Marty Garner and Sudden Rush, which is Shane Helms and Shannon Moore. Ray gets the victory with Mysterio Rana over Shannon Moore, and he was head and shoulders above everyone else. He gets the 62. Everyone else is in the terrible range. So Hoovy's at 27, Super Crazy at 37, and then the Hardy Friends aren't very good. We'll not mention them. 39 overall for that. We've got a little bit of rust for Shannon and Shane, and some poor chemistry on commentating for Hudson and Mantell, but yeah, we'll get over that. 39 is fine. Hopefully when they get their experience together up, we'll get better. Right, a better match. But the creative finish was a failure, which is annoying. The Eliminators make their 4th defense of the tag titles against the people's favorite tag team, with Cronus getting a victory over Joe Kazana with a total elimination. Perry Saturn carried the match. 64 for Saturn now. That's incredibly good. Kazana at 50, Cronus at 50, Tommy Dreamer down at 43. He's lagging behind everyone's favourite wrestler, Joe Kazana, which is annoying. But okay, we can move on. 51 rating for that is good enough. Then we get Jericho hyping up his title match tonight with Raven, but he's attacked from behind by the debuting Buddy Lee Parker. Card is indeed subject to change because this match is going to replace our title match. It's a 59 for the segment, even though Buddy Lee Parker gets an awful rating for his Law Enforcer gimmick. And you can already tell now we've fixed that backstage that our ratings are back up to where they should be. So increasing in size was not the issue. it was just me. Jericho gets the victory, though, in 16 minutes with a Lion Tamer on the Power Plant's favourite coach. Jericho drops a 78 for his in-ring performance. Everyone's getting back up to where they belong. Creative finish was a success as well, and it was only the commentary what pulled us down a little bit, but a 69 rating for the match is brilliant, and it gives something Raven and his as-yet unnamed replacement opponent something to aim for there. But a great co-main event in Jericho's back up to where he should be. Raven finds it hilarious that his opponent's been dragged into another match, but before he can gloat for too long, Tito Santana, Chico, makes his debut and challenges Raven to put the title on the line against him tonight. Tito did a great job, a masterful job, improvising rather, not improving his interactions with the crowd. And Raven is superb as always. Another 69 segment rating there. And we go into the match, which only gets a 58, which is a little bit disappointing, actually. It gives me hope that the Jericho-Raven match is going to be good. But the Even Flow DVT gets defense number 11 for Raven. Slightly disappointing main event there. Once again, the commentary a bit awkward. Raven's 60 is not quite enough to drag the match rating up as much as it could have done. Jericho is our star. Jericho's going to be the long-term champion, I think. He's going to have to take the title off Raven sooner rather than later, because we can't keep putting him against people who aren't the champion. But afterwards, Jericho makes his way out to the ring to get in Raven's face, and both men argue Jericho is still the number one contender, and they will fight for the title very, very soon. It gets a 76, and is a cracking way to end the night. And that's only a 54, because again, the main event was a little bit of a letdown, and we still have those production penalties in every area. But we should increase our popularity in 18 regions, which is excellent. In terms of finances for the show, we made a very healthy profit of 12 grand. Ticket sales in at just under 21,000 is very nice indeed. Obviously not quite the levels we got when we held that show in the north of England, but still, worker costs and show costs are under control, I'd say is fair. It's fair to say their marketing costs nicely as well. Merchandise, doing well. Okay, fine. Popularity recap. I mean, that's good. Everywhere, pretty much. Up. 42 in the southeast is good. 31 tri-state. Getting these up as well. Mid-Atlantic, Mid-South. A little bit of a boost in Quebec and Ontario is nice to see. Obviously, I really wish we'd got PBS coverage for our weekly TV show as well, but we don't, which is a little bit of a shame, but that's what happens when the glitch was in the game when we did our broadcasting deal extension. But never mind. Right, speaking of our TV show, that will be the next event we will book. Obviously, we've got 4 TV shows block booked at the end of the month, and then we're gonna. I'm still putting it out there that we're gonna do a monthly show in the UK just to roll in a bit of revenue. It's gonna far outweigh the cost of flying over about 6 or 7 guys. 8 guys just to kind of fill out the card. And speaking of, here's Jerry Lawler. Let's have a quick look at him. I want to look at his profile, his popularity. He's not got any popularity in the UK, but he's got lots of popularity in the US. So we can potentially get him in a program. I mean, he's a heel. Sounds like a perfect opponent for Chris Jericho. Complete the signing. There we go. Wonderful. Still got Dina Bravo with some negotiations out there, and then Tommy Angel and Brian Lee. How many times have I made that mistake over the course of this save game? Lots. Raven thinks Shannon Moore's got poor ring psychology. Yes, he has. You are correct. Viewing figures up to 71,867 with our new broadcast deal. Obviously, we trialled that broadcast deal with the random Japanese show we ran. So, it's not the first show we broadcast there. Right, let's have a quick look at some popularity situations. So this is Raven, not Jericho. What's his popularity in Canada changed from? 15's 23, so gone up a little bit. You can see there, 15, 23, 21, 22. Yes, it's gone up a little bit. And if we are moving everything around a bit too much here, so the US is flat from where we were essentially, so he's not gained anything in the US from beating Tito, but he has gained a little bit in Canada. What about Chris Jericho? Obviously, he's a little bit more. Is he a little bit more over? Very, very close. Either way, his Canadian popularity. If you can see how much being TV champion helped out Jericho, his Canadian popularity is up a little bit as well in a couple of regions, which is all well and good. Right, I'm happy with that. Hoovie's gone up. No, not really. Who else was on his team? Super Crazy. Where's Super Crazy? His popular. So, did he have a TV run with us? I want to think, looking at that bump from March to April, that he was on TV a few times. I can't even remember. I probably ought to have known. It's not that long ago. Yeah, he had a few wins. He beat Jimmy Del Rey, didn't he? Of course he did. So he's worked out nicely there. Right, that's the final part of this show. We're going to go forward and do our TV taping in just under 3 weeks, and then the All-Star show in the north of England. We'll bring a few newbies into our TV taping as well, and see how we go. I mean, I'm very impressed that we're up to 42 in the southeast after just one show on PBS. Excellent. Right, I mean, it's nice that we'll be back for TV very soon. Okay then, we are ready for our Unleashed taping, and I'm hopefully going to be doing something slightly different with the way we tape Unleashed. I'm not sure what my hands are doing. But essentially we're going to try and have a bit more of a thread throughout the 4 episodes of different stories, not just every single person being used on each one, and a little bit more people. So we've got about 16 or 18 people used across the 4 blocks rather than sort of 10, 12. So hopefully a little bit more variety and a bit more new faces being used, and hopefully some good ratings as well. But we'll go through with our first show of the taping. It's episode 61 of Unleashed, the one that will air on the 26th of April as we are taping it. So let's just go. We start the show with Chris Jericho, and he knows that Raven will have mind games in store for him, so he is jumping the gun. All 4 members of the Nest against Jericho's All-Star team in an 8-man main event tonight. Jericho will have his best friend, Lance Storm, who's making his debut, rival-turned-friend Rey Mysterio, and the legendary Tito Santana in his corner. And that got a 75 rating to start the show, which is pretty good. We're in that Highlands News Sun Centre, wherever that is. I think it holds 400 people, so hopefully we'll get a chance to sell it out. But that is a great way to start the show. And then we start off with a newcomer, Sabu, who defeats Dwayne Gill in 10 minutes with his Arabian facebuster. He got a 41 and in his debut, and a very good rating for his gimmick to start the show, to start his run here as well. Dwayne Gill with a solid 34. A 43 for the first match is a good place to build from. Hopefully we won't make the main event a bit of a dud, but we've got 8 men in the main event, so hopefully enough to carry it. But that's a good start to the show. Crowd will get into things a little bit more with Sabu, but a good debut for him. Then we get RVD, who struggled a little bit without a script, but he still did okay with a 59 rating for this one. He spotted a lot of new faces backstage, some more familiar to him than others, but he knows that that means new challengers for the TV title. The whole damn show will face all comers at all times and will keep standing tall until somebody can take the title from him. Thank you, Rob. 59. Nice. The angles are doing well tonight. This is an absolute cracking match. Just check that rating out. A 73 from RVD defending the TV title for the 8th time against newcomer Alex Porto. Now, I'm not really sure who Alex Porto is, but I'm going to use him a lot more if he gets ratings like this. A 53 for his in-ring performance on his debut. Got a great gimmick rating. RVD with a 73. That is a match. A 73. How does that fare against some of our other matches that are at the very tip top of our nearly 5 year stint in the game? We'll find out after this taping. And then we get Raven in another cracking segment, an 80 rated for this one. He's more than happy to accept the challenge, but that doesn't mean he won't have mind games for Jericho and his friends. He was superb working without a script. Let's see how the main event can go. I don't think it's going to match that 73. But hopefully, even though there are a few people in there who aren't particularly over, namely Edge, Christian and Lance Storm, we should still got a good rating out of it. 66, now that's not bad at all. I'm happy with that. Decent match. Tito, Rey and the Thrill Seekers, that's Jericho and Lance Storm, get the victory in 16 minutes. Jericho making Angus King submit to the Lion Tamer. Jericho was head and shoulders above everyone else with his 78. Christian letting the side down a little bit at 27. Edge with a 37. Lance Storm debuted with a 40, which is not bad at all considering he's not got massive overness yet in the US. So that is quite good. He's got a very good gimmick rating as well. So I'm happy with that 66. That should give us a pretty good overall show rating. It gets us a 59. And now that is with probably 4, maybe 5 points knocked off for the production penalties. But a 59 is a very, very good show all the same. happy with that. If we'd gone with RVD in the main event, maybe we could have got even higher. But 59 should increase our popularity in 11 regions. Obviously, the TV show is only shown in the US. It's not shown on PBS to get the Canadian viewers involved as well. So don't worry too much that that's not saying like 18 or whatever it would normally say. But right, let's go into episode 2 of the taping. Episode 62 overall. And we are going to end the night with a Raven attack there. And do we want to end it with a... Maybe we actually want to end it with the RVD Savio Vega match rather than the Thrill Seekers Edge and Christian, because I'm a little bit worried that that's going to be... yeah, we'll do that. We'll add everything in now, and we'll put that RVD Vega match on last, I think. If we switch things up here, no, that one, move it here to the main event. Yeah, so we'll have Raven attacking after the Thrill Seekers match. That'll be fine. We'll do that. Right, let's go into show number 2. Right, Brian Lawler, the Prince of Wrestling. He's still without a throne, and he starts the show tonight. He struggled a little bit going off script, but still did okay. He deserves one, and he's going to kick somebody's ass until he's given one. Now, you may have noticed that we've hired Jerry Lawler as well, so we'll be bringing him into this storyline at some point. I say storyline, loosely using the word storyline. But Brian Lawler wants a match tonight. He gets a 56 for his promo and a 51 for his match against Don E. Allen. It's amazing how turning around the backstage morale and atmosphere has fixed all the rating worries. Strange that, isn't it? Brian Lawler gets the victory. Tennessee Jam, 52 for his performance, 32 for Donnie Allen, which is not bad for a job guy. 51 overall match rating. And then we go to Jericho introducing his best friend and former tag team partner Lance Storm. The pair were victorious last week, but tonight they're going to make their tag team debut in SPW. The Thrill Seekers are here. He gets a 55 despite Lance underperforming, probably because he's been a little bit outshadowed by Mr. Jericho. But the match itself gets a 56, actually. I'm surprised it was so high. Everyone's got some good chemistry, apart from the commentary team. But the Thrill Seekers get the victory over the Suicide Blondes. Lance Storm getting the victory with a Canadian Maple Leaf over Adam Impact. Despite it saying he's pinned him, that is actually a submission maneuver, but never mind. What do I know? 56, Jericho Shawn, good match. Should get Lance over as well. And Edge and Christian should still be ticking on even with the loss. We then move to Raven, wasting no time after the final bell. He blindsides Storm and sends him crashing from the ring before dropping Jericho with an even flow DDT. He stands tall with his title held high. Mind games are underway. 72, not 52, sorry, for the segment rating. Raven showing he has still got the edge in the mental games. And then the main event gets another 73 RVD with some cracking matches. He gets a 73 out of Savio Vega. Spinning heel kick gets the victory in 16 minutes. It's his 9th defense of the TV title. Both men with good solid performances. RVD in the 76. He's the new Dean Malenko, apparently. Although Dean was doing it with that level with a lot lower popularity. So still. Savio Vega, 48. Nothing to be sniffed at there. He's the new Dean Malenko in terms of head trainer backstage. And this one gets a 60, so we're getting even better rating. This is a good block of TV ratings again. Popularity in 11 regions going up. Any locker room incidents? Raven and Jericho butting heads. Stop it. Stop it. You're butting heads on screen, not backstage. Right, 63, episode 63. Right, what we're going to do with the main event. We've got Angus King and Tito Santana potentially in the main event. Or do we potentially want to go with RVD and Sabu? That is a question. RVD has been pulling some fantastic ratings out of the bag in recent weeks. So let's see if he can. Shall we give it? We'll give him the main event again. Let's do it. Let's give him the main event as well here. Sabu, although King has got more overness than Sabu. Let's just double check that. Let's check. Not that page. Let's reset that. Where's Sabu? Sabu, popularity. See, yeah, and then Angus King. I mean, there's not much difference, actually, so RVD should carry it, I think. He should be able to get the good match out of, yeah, I think in terms of overness. I think RVD and Sabu, I'm hoping, will have good chemistry as well. So we'll drop that in the main event. Everything fine there. Let's go. Episode 63 for 2 weeks' time. Buddy Lee Parker, Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker, makes his debut and he's about to dish out some hard time to his opponent tonight. He's looking to keep SPW on the straight and narrow and hand out beatings to anybody who steps out of line. He's still continuing his law enforcer gimmick. He did well though, worked the crowd nicely, got a 47 for the angle, and the segment does nicely there to start the show. The match itself is a little bit of a letdown. He only gets a 41 in his 41 in his in-ring performance. Defeats Dwayne Gill though with a pile driver. 39 is a good start to the show, not a bad start to the show. We'll have better matches later on in the night, I am sure. Again, that commentary chemistry is annoying, but we'll have to just deal with it. We then go to Tita Santana, who does well, improvises nicely without a script. In this segment, he knows he's in the tail end of his career, but he's inspired by all the fans to fight the good fight and help young talent like Chris Jericho overcome the reign of terror from Raven and his nest. He'll do his part tonight by taking down Angus King. Arriba! 62 for the segment rating is not a bad one at all. And he gets a good match out of Kane, a 55. Both men putting in a pretty good performance. The colour commentary gave this match a boost, despite the poor chemistry. But Tito gets the victory, figure 4, leg lock. And there we go, not a flying burrito in sight. 55 rating for this match. Tito, thank you. 52 for him. Kane with a 44. Still ticking along nicely in the mid-card, Kane. Thank you. Obviously, he was our first ever TV champion. And speaking of the TV champion, RVD's in the ring ahead of his latest title defense when he gets blindsided by a steel chair being thrown from the crowd. The wild man Sabu quickly follows the chair into the ring and attacks RVD. Hudson and Mantell had mentioned that the pair have a history from their time together in Michigan. But it looks like we've got a match to contend with. A 63 rating is a lot better than I was expecting with the limited popularity on Sabu's side. So that gives me hope for the match being really good. It's a 65. There's no chemistry note to mention between the pair of them, but they still put in a really good showing. RVD in the mid-70s once again, and he gets the victory for the 10th time defending the TV title. Sabu with a very, very good 50 rating. He's benefiting from a hot new move that he's debuted apparently recently. And he gets a 65 for the main event, which is all well and good. Overall, it only gets a 54, which is a little bit disappointing. But again, you've got to consider 4 more points than that probably for the overall rating, what it would have been without the production penalties. So I'm happy to go along with that. That's a good one. And then we'll final show of the taping block. Let's get into things here. We'll also find out our attendance as well for the night. We are going to have Raven and Rey Mysterio in the main event for this one. See how that one should be a really good match. I definitely think so. But we'll see how RVD gets on against Buddy Lee Parker as well. That one should be pretty solid. And then we've got Alex Porto back after his great debut against RVD. Nothing to note on the booking analysis, so we'll go through. Hopefully, I want to know your thoughts, by the way, on the TV tapings, if they're working out better. I don't know if you can actually tell any difference, but I've made a concerted effort to do something a little bit different. 400 fans sell out the Highlands New Sun Centre. I'm not sure what bonus we'll get for that, but you know, there we are. The opening contest gets a 50 rating as Alex Porto drops Donnie Allen with a pug bomb to get the victory in 10 minutes there. Nicely done. 51 for his performance, 31 for Don's. A good start to the show with a 50. You can't really grumble at that. RVD then drops a fantastic promo, a 77. He talks about Sergeant Parker and his hard time. Well, Van Damme doesn't know anything about that, but he does know about high times. And tonight he'll be flying all the way to victory. I think he's 420ing his way through the night, clearly. Thank you, Rob. 77. That's cracking. Next up, a 72 match for Buddy Lee Parker against RVD. Van Daminator gets the job done. Defense number 11 of the World Television title. And that is another cracking mid-card match. Can Raven do anything about it, though? Raven tells Rey Mysterio that he should be careful about who he is friends with. Taking the side of Chris Jericho has earned him a target on his back, and tonight, Raven will not miss. Again, superb promo, 70 rating for this one. The match gets a 73. 270. That is 70-plus rated matches are rare, and they are both on tonight. Both men get a good 60 performance. Rey with an even better performance from Raven, who, by the way, I realised is the NWA World Champion. Didn't realise that. I think it happened in February. I did wonder why he kept popping up on WCW shows, and I was getting a little bit worried. But anyway, he gets his 12th defence of the World Heavyweight title here tonight with an even flow DDT. 69 for Rey is still he's definitely benefited from his TV title reign. As I mentioned, the best way to push anyone is TV champion, 4 matches every month on TV gets them over like wildfire, and the show ends with Raven being victorious, but Jericho's here and looking for revenge. He doesn't give Raven a chance to run and attacks him straight after the bell. Challenger locks the champion in the Lion Tamer to end the show, and I'm not sure when this will air compared to when our next monthly event is, because they're fighting at that. But there we go, a 63 for the end of Angle show. Oh, look at that, a 65. When you've got 4 of your 6 segments rated 70 or higher, that cannot be grumbled at all. And the show only increased popularity in 2 regions because we probably filled up the amount of popularity we can increase everywhere else. But we'll have a look. We lost 13. We've spent 12.5 grand on workers tonight, which is a lot. Lost 13,500 on the show overall, but that should be fine for the month. Popularity recap though, everywhere else is going up. We haven't quite got to 43 in the southeast, which is a little bit disappointing. But 19, 26, 26, 18, 18, 14, 42, 17, 31, 12, 12. In case you can't read. And then obviously when we'll have our next show on PBS, we'll hopefully get the Canadian ratings up as well. But all in all, I am very, very happy with that. And that should win us the regional battle for April as well, which is something we've been struggling in over recent months, but not anymore. Not now we've fixed the Backstage rating. The morale is up. Everything is flying in that TV taping. I don't actually know whether I did anything different or not, but it definitely had an impact on the ratings. Rhino's been hired by ECW, by the way. Viewing figures are in 48,000 for Unleashed. Nicely done. Now, let's have a look at how some of those matches fare in our overall top matches. So, obviously, Dean Malenko and Raven at Glory Road got an 80. That can't be topped. Jimmy Del Rey is still somehow there at 73. We've got so many matches now at 73. Jimmy Del Rey, Malenko, Jerry Lynn, Jeff Jarrett in a cage. Van Dam against Savio Vega. Raven against Mysterio. Then RVD and Jeff Jarrett, and then Van Dam against Alex Porto. All of those, well, 1, 2, 3 of those came on the last show. So that's pretty good. And then we've got some more 72s, 70s. We're getting very good now. Very good ratings is in. Now, I did see someone mention in the comments of another video, not quite recently, we should start signing people to exclusive deals. And I hadn't ever thought about doing that, mainly because I didn't think you could at this level. But apparently you can, even though you're small. So we can, even though we are small, we can still sign people to exclusive written deals, probably on a per-show basis. Now, I'm tempted to do it with a few of our top stars, but possibly not now. Finance-wise, we're still making a profit for the month at 6.5k. We have got the show in Great Britain, in Northern England, coming up in one day, and that should definitely turn a big profit. If we remember last time around it did so. So I'll be back for that one in a few moments, but hopefully you've enjoyed the Unleashed taping. Keep staying tuned. And we are back for All-Star Wrestling, which you've not put the wrong video on. This is part of the show. Right, we are going to be in the north of England, and we're expecting just under 2,000 in attendance. The Preston Guildhall, which I've never been to, because I don't think I've ever been to... I've driven past Preston. I don't think I've ever been to Preston. But there we go. That is where we're going to go. I've been to the Sheffield Arena, or whatever it's called these days. It was called the Hallam FM Arena. I think it's now not called that. What's it called? Some car-based arena. I can't remember. Anyway, Preston Guildhall. There we go. We're going to go that one. Yeah, select this venue. We are also going to broadcast this one on PBS. Even though it's being held in the UK, we will also be airing it in the US and in Canada. So hopefully that will improve our Canadian popularity for the second time this month. Booking team meeting-wise, we've got a load of stored creative energy, and we've got a few ideas. We've got a Rey Mysterio angle idea, a Shanghai Pierce creative finish that we need to actually use as well. So what we'll do is we'll just get a couple of character ideas in here. I think that one's a near certainty. That's done. I'll do another one there. That's another near certainty. That's good. And then we'll finish off with a creative finish as well. This one's a little bit of a gamble, but we can always use it. Right. That's that. Locker room incidents. Again, there's not many people backstage because we're only inviting the people who we've flown over to the UK, because we're not sending everyone over there just to sit around in catering, which is bring your own lunch. Chris Jericho and Dutch Mantel getting on really well backstage. That's good. Dino Bravo passing on some tips to his protege, Chris Jericho. That'll always be good. And that's it. Nice, happy backstage. Happy, happy, happy. That's what I like to see. We've got 4 matches on the card tonight. And speaking of backstage, there's not many people here, so the backstage morale is good, which is excellent. That's good. There's not many people backstage, but still we've got 2 negative influences. Anyway, let's use a couple of... we might use a creative finish tonight. Right, we're going to have Tito Santana and Raven in the main event. That one's there. We'll also have a Raven promo beforehand. Obviously, we're in the UK, so with fingers crossed, we'll actually get some good ratings out of things. We're going to, I think, use the creative finish on this match here with Jericho and Dino Bravo with his mentor, or rather, as Jericho says before the match, mentor no more. And then we'll have Rob Van Dam defending the TV title. Yep, made sure I'm defending the TV title there. And Rey Mysterio and Juvi in a Lucha opener, because Juvi has spent a lot of time on tour in the UK, so he's got some good... Look at that. Perfect. Only me backstage who's not being used. I'm 39 now. I'm quite old. Right, All-Star Wrestling. The fastest hour you'll ever see in Preston with some brilliant, brilliant wrestling. Let's go for it. Right. Just under 2,000 in attendance, 1,957 at the Guildhall, and we start things off with a cracking match as Rey Mysterio defeats Juventud Guerrero with a Mysterio Rana. 48 for the match rating there. Rey with a 53, Juvi with the 32, and this is obviously Juvi needs to improve. Working with Rey is going to help him. 48, good start to the show. Obviously, we're expecting slightly lower ratings here because we've not got much popularity in the UK, but we should still be okay. So there we go. So RVD's been dropping 70s in some of his recent matches, a 54 here, and that is a lot of it down to his popularity. But still managed to get a 44, which is enough for me. RVD with the victory, defends the TV title for the 12th time, which is just ridiculous. But there we go. Then Jericho talks about how Dino Bravo has been a mentor for him throughout the early part of his career, but he's learned everything he can, apart from those mic skills he was picking up earlier tonight. And tonight will prove that the student has surpassed the teacher. He did really, really well without script. Gets a 60, which probably if we were in the southeast would have been a 75-80, but there we go. The match itself gets a 53 and the creative finish was a success. Despite Dino Bravo's old age, he still gets a 30 for his in-ring performance. Jericho with a 52, which is good stuff. Lion Tamer gets the job done, and the student has indeed become the teacher with that victory. 53, nicely done, and we move on towards our main event where Raven tells Tito Santana that he's been meddling in his affairs for too long, and tonight that behaviour gets checked. Tito will regret joining Spike Piledriver and wish he hadn't stuck his nose where it didn't belong. 67, really good once again from Raven, and the match gets a 54, which should be okay. I think we'll probably lose a little bit of popularity in Northern England and might not pick much up. For example, in the southeast, I reckon this is going to get us an overall rating of, I'm going to say 47 because of the penalties for production. But we shall see. Raven gets the victory. 51 for Tito. Only 42 for Raven, which is a little bit disappointing. 49. I can't remember what I just said. But 49 is good. I don't think that will have lost us any popularity in the north of England. So that's good. Still get that money in there. Right, let's have a look. Nothing to address there. Finance report. We're going to make a load of money on the ticket sales. Look at that. 33 grand on ticket sales. The money spinner for coming to Preston gets us 24 profit on the show itself. Up to nearly 100k overall in the bank balance. Popularity, which is good. That's fine. In the regions that it really matters, because we're not getting much popularity elsewhere. Up to Quebec in 8 and Ontario 8. Slight improvement in Puerto Rico and Hawaii and the rest of Canada. But that's fine. No drops in England, which is good to see. So we'll keep getting that sponsorship and merchandise money rolling in, and we'll be back next month for some more ticket sales. That's all I can say. More ticket sales for going to the Preston Guildhall. We bought their company, so we might as well give them a show every now and then just to make a bit of money. They're still rushing in to see how things are going, and that is the last show of April. We're going to go through May as well, but we'll see how we get on. I want to just quickly check things through before we do skip forward to the next show. I think the next show will be... Oh, Christopher Daniels has handed in his notice. That's a shame. Is he just unhappy? Or is he just fed up of losing? Sorry, Chris. We kind of haven't used you much. There we go. 29.8. Lack of big names. Okay, so we haven't got any... big names in the UK, so we've hurt the attendance for, well, we've still got a load of money on the ticket sales, so never mind. Why is Christopher Daniels leaving? Is he just unhappy? Let's have a look at him. He's got normal morale, so why is he leaving? Is he just because he's not fought for a while? When was his last match? He's not fought for us this year, that's for sure. SPW there, nothing this year. When was his last match? November. That's probably why he's leaving. nearly been 6 months. Sorry. Never mind. Fallen Angel is leaving. We might be back in the future. We shall see. But there we go. He's gone. Let's have a quick look at how we're looking popularity-wise. Raven is 52s. He's got 62 in the southeast. Up to 21 in Northern England, which is good. What about Jericho? Similar sort of story. 52, 62 in the southeast. 20. You know, they're copying each other, really, aren't they? Can we compare them? Let's compare them. Chris Jericho against Raven. Very much the same. Raven's got slightly more in Puerto Rico. Slightly better in Canada for Jericho. Everything else is pretty consistent. Raven's got a bit more in Japan. And in Australia and a bit of Europe as well. But that's pretty. They are the two top stars in the company, I think. Ray's doing nicely there. What about Tito? What's Tito up to? Still just in the high 30s. That's okay. A couple of losses for him. Who else are we kind of... Where's Rob Van Dam? Where's he? Here he is. He's getting up there as well with the likes of Raven and Jericho. So the three top stars now. Definitely those three guys. Let's see what Lance Storm did on his debut. Still, he's getting okay. He's okay. Yeah. He'll get there. He will get there, that's for sure. Right, what we will do now... He's got cooled momentum. Why has he got cooled momentum? I mean, he's not lost a match yet. Anyway, fine. Whatever. I think it's because he lost an angle. Right, we've got High Voltage in 6 days, and then we'll have the TV taping for May. So that, let's have a quick look at the calendar. Where's the calendar availability? Nothing in April left now. We've got High Voltage on the 5th of May, and then Unleashed and All-Star Wrestling towards the end. Armstrong will be at WCW and AJPW on those 2 nights, so it won't be happening. And Super Crazy is working for New Japan, so we'll have to use Scott Armstrong at High Voltage just to get a match out of him because he's not on a particularly long contract. So we'll make... Oh gosh, what's happening there? That doesn't look good. So hopefully we'll make sure that we do things correctly for May. Right, thank you very much. We'll be back for High Voltage, where we'll have the Jericho-Raven clash for the heavyweight title. Stay tuned. Okay then, time for High Voltage. And before we get into it, we'll have a quick look at the finances for April, and we made $26,000. A lot of that thanks to the big ticket sales for the North of England show, the show in Preston for All-Star Wrestling. So that's definitely helping things. Nearly at 100k in the bank balance tonight as we go into High Voltage. And on the card tonight, we've got Jericho and Raven for the heavyweight title. Finally, they will go to war. Right, we'll just get straight into it. Nothing has changed in terms of our championship situation ahead of tonight, I don't think. Raven's still champion, 217 days now, nearing the record, only 50 days shy of the record now. Tag champs are still the Eliminators, and RVD is on 12 successful defenses. Jericho got 15 as the record, and he's done it in a lot fewer days as well. So we'll see how we get on that front. Right, I think if we go through, I think there's a few people we need to make sure we don't book tonight. We don't bring to the show tonight to make sure they don't get angry with us because we're not booking them. But we'll go in nights. It's time for High Voltage, which I believe has seen one title change in the past for the heavyweight title. So what we'll do is we'll go through, and where's the perception? Major Star. Yes. Who is not booked tonight? That's the question. Have I booked Kane? I can't remember if I booked Kane. No, I haven't booked Kane. I nearly did. Give him the night off. Where is Rob Van Dam? He can have the night off as well. I think everyone else is booked. So we'll just go through it like that. Yes, we're done, I think. Tonight's venue, I think we'll just go to Disney MGM again because it worked fine last time. Although only 1,500 for the capacity. We need 17. That's what we need. That's not going to be the best venue we could use. We need to get this up to a higher number than that. Let's just click it like this. It'll work eventually. Oh no, there we go. Right, so we want somewhere between 1 and 2,000, really, don't we? Yeah, there we go. Centre Stage Theatre's too small. Disney Park, Expo Dome, Derby Park rather, too small. Hollywood Studios, too small. Soundstage, yep, these are too small. These are all too small. We're going with a generic venue because I want more fans in the attendance. Sorry. Finalised broadcasters, we want to be on PBS. Of course we do. Yes, use that selection. Deals currently in use. Okay, booking team. Made a nice 77 creative energy. I'm not going to spend any of it tonight, I don't think. No, we'll move on. Locker room incidents. This is the fun bit. Dino Bravo passing on tips to Chris Jericho once again. Savio Vega training everyone, and that's it. Nice and relaxed backstage environment. If we remember past years, Jarrett defended the title against Eddie Golden a year ago. That seems like more than a year ago. A lot has happened. Jarrett defeated Dean Malenko to win the heavyweight title the year before that in 1994. He also lost to Jerry Lynn by DQ for Jerry Lynn to retain the title in 93. And in 92, Todd Morton and King Cobra beat Jeff Jarrett and Dean Malenko back when Malenko was a heel. That seems like a long time ago. If we quickly look, I was going to look at something, but I can't remember what it was now. Never mind. No, never mind. Right, let's just go in and do tonight's matches. Right, we've got Raven and Jericho in the main event. And then Raven's got a promo as well. And we've got lots of other matches on the card. We're going to drop in a potential Porto. That could be a sleeper match. Porto against Armstrong. And then fix the Peasants. Yes. And Rey Mysterio, Lance Storm. And Hoovy in that one. Right, let's go. Savio Vega's a little bit unhappy. Let's just protect him a little bit. Where shall we keep him strong? Where is he? Savio Vega, keep strong. I'm not sure why he's annoyed at losing to Rey Mysterio, but there we go. Fine, that'll fix it. Booking analysis for 82 minutes. That should be enough. That should be fine for us. No, we need to be at 90, don't we? Let's drop another match in there. Let's have another match on the undercard. Not booked. Right, what faces have we got? We could probably drop in a Booker T. Let's drop in a Booker T match, and he can face someone who we've not used yet. Just as a start, Black Dragon is injured, actually. I noticed he got injured. Strained rotator cuff, so we're not going to use him. Maybe we'll just go for Booker against Buddy Lee Parker, just to sort of drop in as the opener. We'll give it 9 minutes, give Booker T the victory, call it in the ring. Right, let's go with that as the opener. Now we're at 93 minutes. That should be enough to get us through the show. Right, Booker T defeats Buddy Lee Parker in the opener. You've just seen me book it. He gets a 51. That is a good, strong start to the card. Everyone gets 45 for their in-ring performance, and that is good enough for me. Everything a little boost around as well. Got the crowd off nice and hot. 1,700 in attendance. Moving on, Rey Mysterio, Lance Storm, and Hoovy defeat the Eliminators and Savio Vega. Rey gets the victory over Savio. Apparently, he wasn't happy about it. He was off his game as well, but he still got a really good performance. He and Saturn on 61. Hoovy down at 30 still, not over enough yet. Lance getting better, gets a 43. Up there with Savio and Cronus. Good match, 51. Gives us something to do with the Eliminators going forward as well. Probably going to have them face Rey and Hoovy at some point. Jerry the King Lawler joins his son, the Prince of Wrestling, Brian Lawler, in the ring, and they mock the peasants at ringside. The royal family from Memphis are here to fix the issues with their kingdom and rule over it with an iron fist. Brian did well working the crowd, and Jerry Lawler debuted a very good gimmick. Gets 74. That is a strong start. And they have a tag team match against the people's favourite tag team, and they win. Look at that. Jerry gets a 49. Brian with a 51. Kazana and Dreamer in there as well. Brian Lawler's off his game a little bit. But the Tennessee Jam gets the victory for Lawler over Dreamer in 13.5 minutes. Solid debut for the Lawler family, but they're not going to be done tonight. You may have seen something as we were booking the show, but don't spoil yourselves. Then we get into our... Oh, look at that. I was not let down by Alex Porto and Scott Armstrong. This was going to be a sleeper match, and he got a 66 rating. Victory roll for Porto. Gets the job done in 11.5 minutes. Gets the victory over Scott Armstrong, who debuts his old school face gimmick, which gets an adequate. Hopefully we won't botch him as much as we botched his brother. But we shall see. 66 for this one. And then we go into our pre-main event angle as Raven warns Jericho not to count his chickens before they hatch. Now, I don't know whether that's just a British idiom or whether it's known in America or not, but I'm using it, so I am not caring. Tonight, he may think he goes into their title match with the advantage, but the advantage actually sits firmly with the champion. He has a surprise in store for the Lionheart, and he did superb. 79 for that one. And the match itself gets an 81, the greatest match in our short history. Raven won by disqualification. Hang on. No, Jericho should have won by disqualification because Jerry Lawler ran in and attacked Jericho. That's my poor booking. But either way, Jericho got attacked by Jerry Lawler and Raven defends his title again, apparently. Not quite sure why Jericho got disqualified, but take it up with the referee, who was Mark Curtis. He's trying to screw Jericho, clearly. Raven makes his defense, though. Jericho gets attacked by Lawler, and 81, it doesn't matter whether I cocked up the booking or not, 81 is the best match in history. And after the match, Jerry Lawler and Brian Lawler beat the tar out of Chris Jericho. The King drops him on his head with a pile driver before the Prince hits the Tennessee Jam from the top rope. Wrestling's royal family has made their presence felt in SPW. And we're going to build up to a Jerry Lawler-Chris Jericho match. We're holding off on making Jericho champion for another couple of months just because, I don't know. Let's just drag it out a little bit further. But Jerry Lawler against Chris Jericho will be in our next monthly event in June. And that finishes the show, and it gets a 70 rating. Increased our popularity in 18 regions. We should win the regional battle once again with that one. Excellent, excellent stuff. Even with all of those production penalties, we still get a 70. Shall we? Yeah, we'll address the locker room. Praised on a great performance. Chris Jericho, wherever you are as well, let's praise you on a great performance. Let's go. Everyone seems to be happy with that. Good. Financial report, made a lot of money. 18 grand on the show, 27,000 on ticket sales. Nearly as much as we made from the Preston show, but still really good. Popularity recap, up everywhere. Look at that. Up to 43 now in the southeast, getting close to our Northern England record at 48. Up in Canada as well. 9 now in Quebec and Ontario. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. It's all going well. Right, that's High Voltage. We'll be back at the end of the month with another TV taping, followed by the money-spinning All-Star Wrestling show, which pays for the TV taping, essentially. But there we go. That sets us up nicely for our next month, which will see Jerry Lawler and Chris Jericho going to war, whilst Raven just sits and twiddles his thumbs, probably. But the Raven-Jericho rivalry is not over. Jericho will face Raven for the title again. Hoovie's got Paul Rings in psychology, thanks. And 92,000 have watched High Voltage. That's quite a lot. Let's go quickly at our size once again. At 43 now in the southeast. Everything looking really good. Canada nearly up to double digits in a couple of regions is good as well. But we shall get there, I'm sure. Right, we'll be back for Unleashed, which, as we mentioned before, is on the 24th. All-Star Wrestling on the 26th. And then that probably will be the end of the episode, as we've got Doomsday for Jericho and Lawler in June. Right, thank you. We'll be back with more TV tapings after this. Okay then, so we go through our final Unleashed taping of the episode, the end of May taping, and we've got some news to break to you, which is going to be disappointing, but off the back of it we made a couple of things as well, which... Anyway, we'll get to it as we get to it. We'll go through the show now, the 4-block show now, and see how we get on, and I'll break the news as we go through, because some of it gets revealed on the show, some of it doesn't. So we'll start out, episode 65 of Unleashed, and we debut, we're at the Springfield Middle School gym, by the way, we debut with Flex Kavana. Sorry, Flex Kavana starts the show debuting. That's The Rock, by the way. He tells the fans that he is a third-generation wrestler, and that means he's already better than everybody else in the back. You can boo him, you can cheer him, either way, he'll be winning tonight, and he gets a great initial rating. We've also, by the way, which I forgot to mention, Maura Ranello has joined the commentary team, and Scott Hudson will be leaving. This is because Hudson and Dutch Mantell have got poor chemistry, and we don't want to be hindered by that at all in the future. So we've got Mauro in, and he's a little bit better as well, so hopefully that will help. The Rock debuts, gets a 56 for his promo. He's basically going to be kind of playing a cocky, kind of like a young MJF kind of gimmick, where because he's a third-generation star, he's better than everyone, and he knows it, and they know it, and... We'll see how we get on. He comes with a complete 0 across the board for his popularity, so we'll see how far we can get him before he clears off or gets angry like Triple H did. 56 is a good start, and then he has his debut match where he's off his game, and we can see that chemistry note once again on commentary. And it gets a 32 as Flex Kavana beats jobber Ricky Nelson in 10 minutes with the Samoan drop. After signing The Rock, I did also think potentially we might sign Samu and Fatu and bring in some more Samoans and have our own little bloodline, but I haven't done so yet. They cost quite a bit of money, I think like 800 a show or something like that, but that's not as much as we're spending on some people. Anyway, 32 for The Rock's debut match. He gets an 18 with his in-ring performance. Obviously, when he gets more popularity, that performance will increase. and when he gets more ring time as well. He's also been taken as a protege by Dutch Mantel already on his first night in the company. We heat things up even more, though, as RVD comes out and he knows his opponent tonight better than any other man. Scotty Riggs, or Scott Studd as he was known a few years ago here, is an old friend, but they don't see eye to eye anymore. Riggs wants a shot, then he can have one just for old time's sake. And this gets a 72 from Mr. Van Dam with his promo skills. Can he drag Scotty Anton up to a good match? Not too bad, actually. 55. He was rusty, because I don't think he's probably had a match since we sacked him back in 94 or something like that. But a 69 performance, nice, from Van Dam, and a 9 for Scotty Riggs. Yeah, he's not going to last long. He was literally brought in because he's Van Dam's friend. Spinning heel kick gets the job done. Defense number 13 of the TV title. 55. Okay for the middle of the show match. We've got one more to go. And Jerry the King Lawler, complete with a chorus of boos, tells Chris Jericho that he knows his dirty little secret. And instead of waiting for Doomsday, he wants the match right now, tonight. When the King is victorious, he'll ascend to his throne. A 73 from Mr. Lawler, who we've brought in to be a big jackass, just basically playing his King gimmick. So you know what Jerry Lawler's going to do. He's kind of just doing what Brian Lawler does, but a bit better. And the match itself gets a 73, a show-stealing match. But Mr. Lawler gets the victory with the pile driver. So despite Jericho being the number one contender still, potentially, he loses to Jerry Lawler here. Lawler gets a 47 for his in-ring performance, but he is probably about 47 years old. I'm not actually sure, maybe he's 42, something like that. He's in his 40s. And Jericho with his 75 loses. And we'll tell you why in a second. It gets a 63 overall for the show. Still getting those penalties for production. Show should have increased our popularity in all 11 regions. It could have done. Right, we'll go through the rest of the locker room incidents. Jericho and Jeff Hardy spending a lot of time together. Mauro Ranallo and Simon Diamond are butting heads backstage. That's not good. Thank you. Excellent. Move on. Right, what I want to cover now. We've talked about Jericho's dirty little secret. And you can see here, he is confirmed to be leaving Spike Poweldriver Wrestling. He had an exclusive written contract offer from the WCW and he accepted it. He didn't accept our counter offer and he's off at the end of June. So he'll be around for the next TV taping as well as Doomsday. He's not going to be on the All-Star Wrestling show because he's booked for WCW that night. And then the June show will happen after he's gone. So, Mr. Jericho, we've built you up and built you up and built you up and not quite pulled the trigger on your push for World Champion, but you've got to 52 overall everywhere in the US, and now you're leaving. So we're going to have to slowly job you out and try and get some of that popularity onto someone else. We've already started with Mr. Lawler, who's now surpassed him. He's not quite at the same level as Raven, but not far off. And we'll try and job Jericho out without really jobbing him out. I want to try and pass some of that onto Lance Storm, who could be our next face to push. We've obviously got Mysterio kind of sitting there ready and waiting for a big push towards Raven, so I think that's probably where we're going to head next. But we're going to have Jericho Raven again at Doomsday, because we might as well try and get another good rating out of the pair of them. And then the next set of TV tapings, we're going to try and possibly get some of that popularity off of Jericho. There we go. We've started with Flex Cavana's push. He's gone from 0, and he's got 10s in quite a few places, 12s in a few others, 7s in the rest. He's already up there from a good victory. Right, we'll go through to episode number 2 of the taping, and we're going to end with a royal beatdown. Jericho, we're going to try and book to lose to Brian Lawler. He's not unhappy about it. That's good. I think we put a protect note on there. So we'll see. We've got RVD against Dino Bravo. Yeah, he's probably going to struggle in a match that length, but that's the format of the TV. And then we've got the debuting Rough Cut, John Diamond and Simon Diamond against the Hardy Brothers to start the show. Excellent. Nothing to worry about there. 60 minutes. Off we go for episode 66. And we start with the Hardy Brothers getting a victory over Rough Cut. John Diamond pinned from the Omega event. Jeff Hardy getting the victory. 35 is not a bad way to start the show. John Diamond's 12 is a bit of a letdown. Everyone else in the mid-30s. Jeff Hardy's creative finish that he brought to us was a good success. That's good. I'm not sure. I mean, the Diamonds aren't going to... John Diamond's definitely not going to last very long. Simon Diamond we might keep around for a little bit, but neither... Well, in fact, Simon Diamond got the poor gimmick rating. John with a great... Neither is going to be blowing the world up. setting the world on fire, whatever the right idiom is. But there we go. Start victory for the Hardys. Nicely done. RVD's Open Challenge has a veteran in the ring answering tonight. RVD is confident against all comers, and he's happy to welcome the challenge of Dino Bravo. That gets a nice 62 for Van Dam. Not quite as high as last week's promo. And the match itself is dampened slightly because Mr. Bravo is visibly tired, but still gets a 57. Van Daminator gets the job done, and it's defense number 14. We're nearing the record of 15 defenses for the television title, and obviously he's done it in quicker fashion as well, because he's had a few more chances to defend it. Brian Lawler is keen to follow in his daddy's footsteps tonight and score a victory over Chris Jericho. Doing so will enable him to join his dad on the throne and rule over SPW. That gets a 51. I'm going to try and get Lawler up there as well with his... And that's a good match. That's better than the Jerry Lawler match. Lawler wins after interference from his dad. The Tennessee Jam gets the job done, and it gets a 74 rating. We normally get 73s. So 74 is an excellent main event. And afterwards, after helping his son cheat to win, Jerry Lawler beats down Jericho and drops him once again with a pile driver to close the show. Jericho's friends are nowhere to be seen because they know he's leaving. 61 is another great show. 11 regions getting a popularity boost. Good. No incidents before the next show, which we are straight into, 67. And let's just go straight into it as well. So, we're going to bring Rhino here. We've dropped the Richards from his name. And I've put them the wrong way around. Or I need to... No. Yeah, I need to start from the main event, don't I? This is... Right, we'll start with them. We do this every now and then. I do this, and I forget that I'm booking the main event first. I really need to get this one, just to avoid my incompetence. This one should be, in theory, slightly weaker than the other two TV tapings we've done so far tonight, but still, it should be okay. I've got confidence in the main event pulling out a decent rating. Not going to get into 60s, but we'll see how we get on. Rhino starts the show with a victory over Ricky Nelson, who once again puts in a strong performance doing the job. Gore gets the victory in 10 minutes and gets a 40 for the opening match, and we get a 40 for the angle afterwards as Rhino continues the beatdown, hitting Gore after Gore on Nelson before the officials drag him away. Trying to give Rhino a bit more of a push still. We kind of flitting and starting with, well, we're using him as well, but we've got a lot of people on the roster. Stevie Ray has seen that his brother's been making roads in the singles division, so he's determined to do the same thing, starting with a victory tonight. That gets a 47 for his promo. Still not really sure what I'm doing with Harlem Heat. I will probably put them back in the tag team division again soon, because the singles division's a bit stacked and the tag teams aren't. Stevie Ray defeats Black Shadow Jr. 2 with a bicycle kick in 13 minutes. He was rusty, so... that's good. But 43 for Stevie is a decent enough performance in the ring. Gets a 40 overall. I say, this one isn't going to be as good as the first two tapings, but hopefully we'll try and drag it up a little bit. RVD knows his challenger Angus King very well from past meetings. He's even defended the SPW title against him. But he won that, and he's won before, and he'll win again tonight. 59 for the rating for Van Dam's promo, even though he's a little bit poor whilst trying to improvise his dialogue. And the main event itself gets actually a really good. That is better than I was expecting. A 68 from this one. RVD and Angus King putting their best match together. And RVD's dragging out a really good rating of everyone right now. He's bringing it in the ring. Van Daminator gets the job done. Defense number 15 of the TV title, which matches the record. Again, 55 is not bad. 11 regions getting a popularity boost. So there we go. And one thing I hadn't mentioned that I'm going to mention now. We spoke about Jericho leaving for an exclusive contract. We've signed Raven to an exclusive written contract for $1,300 per show. So we're not paying him by month yet. That's too much. But we've managed to sign him up on an exclusive deal for 2 years. He's literally just signed it. 2 years, and he's still, for some reason, the NWA World Champion, even though he's exclusive to us and we're not part of the NWA. But I'm not going to complain. Also on an exclusive contract is Mr. Van Dam. Again, for 2 years, this time at $1,100 per show. So we've managed to keep him. He rejected ICWA's counteroffer. Rey Mysterio, however, decided that he didn't want an exclusive deal with us because he can earn money elsewhere with his other bookings. So we'll let him do so. So it's just RVD and Raven at the moment on an exclusive contract. I tried the counteroffer of Jericho, but he didn't accept. So that's what we'll do. And obviously, anyone who gets to the point where we want to keep them on exclusive, we'll try and do the same thing. So we don't have them joining Jericho, Malenko, Guerrero, and all leaving us. Jarrett, Lynn. By the way, Jerry Lynn, Cruiserweight Champion in WCW now. First Cruiserweight Champion there, under a mask still, Mr. JL. I'll check out, in fact, I'll show you the WWF and WCW champions in a second. Well, once we've got through this taping. Right, we will go to our main event of RVD and Stevie Ray. Again, this is the 4th show we are taping tonight, and I'm expecting it to be the weakest out of the bunch. But we've got Flex Cavana back again, and Christopher Daniels is also making probably his final appearance because he's announced, after not being booked for about 6 months, that he's leaving us very, very soon. So we might as well give him a booking to give him a parting gift. But we will see how we are. Right, we'll start again. Flex Cavana boasts about his in-ring prowess and his good looks. He's better than everyone else in the arena, inside the ring, and better looking as well. Nicely done. He's improvising well. 58. He's good at angles. 485, by the way, in attendance at this middle school gym for our TV taping. Well done, Rock. Good start to the show. And a 31 in-ring match. So Christopher Daniels not as good at keeping the rating up there like Ricky Nelson was. He's not as good of a jobber. Flex Cavana gets the victory with another Samoan drop, though. Nicely done. 29 for it. That's already. I'm sure that's already jumped up by 10. I'm sure it was 19 in his debut match. Let's see how that improves his popularity. The Texas Outlaws then lose to the Hardy Brothers, who get another victory. Omega event on Shanghai Pierce here. Former tag champions losing to the Hardys, building them up slightly. Everyone's getting good tag team specialist bonuses. Some chemistry involved as well. Nicely done. Matt Hardy's got a hot new move as well. 48, good, solid mid-card match. And then afterwards, the Hardys lay out a challenge to the Eliminators to put their titles on the line at Doomsday. Matt Hardy enjoyed the freedom. Jeff Hardy improvised well as well. 43, not too bad. RVD was terrible without his script. Got a 55. A little bit lower than what he's been doing throughout the rest of the night, so we'll let him off. RVD continues to take on all comers. Tonight's no different. He welcomes the challenge from Stevie Ray, and he's not underestimating... sorry. I've put he is, but I meant he's not underestimating him because of his tag team success. This will be the weakest main event of the lot. No, it won't. A 70. Thank you, Stevie Ray, for being a great dance partner for Van Dam. 16th defense of the World Television title is the new record. RVD continues rolling. It's another 78. Stevie Ray with a 45. That's enough to get our segment rating for the match up to 70, which is great showing. 54 is the weakest show we've done, and it's only going to increase our popularity in one region, apparently. But that's because we will have hit the cap everywhere else from our gains. Right, finance report. We've lost 13 grand on the show, but that's to be expected with a TV taping. We're going to go to Preston in a couple of nights and make it all back again, and then some. But that's fine. Popularity recap up everywhere nicely. 44 now in the southeast, 33 in the tri-state, 28 in the mid-south, and everywhere else is ticking up in the teens as well. Obviously, I want to eventually get to a point where we're growing elsewhere, but the PBS deal doesn't cover the weekly TV show, just the events, so our Canadian growth is going to be slightly slower. But still, all in all, a good TV taping. Now, what I will do before we get to the All-Star Wrestling show in Preston is give you a quick rundown of the WWF, WCW champions, maybe touch on ECW, even though ECW is smaller than us now because they're not growing at the rate you would have expected them from the real world. And we'll also touch on a few other things. Right, we'll go to our news first. Scott Hudson is gone, unfortunately. He was a good commentator. I think he ended up being here for a year. Was it about a year? Not even that. Yes, a year and 2 months. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I saw the Feb 96. I'm sure he's been here longer than that. But he's still got a job, so that's fine. He will go, and Mauro Ranello will come in, and hopefully he'll have some good chemistry with Dutch Mantel. 55 saw the TV show last night. That was good, or maybe it's last afternoon. We have... Oh, UWA are wanting a potential relationship change. Oh. Proposing that we accept development workers from us. Hang on. Oh, I'm happy to do that. Where are they? They're big. They're big. There we go. 11th in the world. Their popularity in Mexico is 80s. That's good. US. In fact, they've got some good popularity in the US as well. So, I'm happy to do that. Why not? Let's say yes to that. Accept. Go on, send us some workers. We're also trying to sign Terry Funk, by the way. He's going to cost a lot of money, though. And, well, it's Terry Funk. And we're going to try and get Sean Waltman back. So we'll see how that goes. Right, what I was going to say was we need to defend our tag team titles, that's for sure. Championships, order by size. Right, WWF champions. Heavyweight champion is Mr. Perfect. He beat Bret Hart at, presumably, WrestleMania. I can probably see that. Yes, he beat... Oh, in the main event of WrestleMania 12, Mr. Perfect got a 100 score against Bret Hart to retain the title. He beat him on Superstars the week before. For the title on Superstars at the end of March, and then they had the rematch at WrestleMania. That is some good booking. Intercontinental champion is Shawn Michaels. He's a 4-time champion now. Beat The Undertaker for the Intercontinental Championship. King of the Ring was recently won by Sergeant Slaughter, of all people. The King of the Ring tournament is happening soon in-game. Sid Justice, Rick Martel, previous winners. Royal Rumble has been won by Hulk Hogan 4 times now. Savage won it twice. So Flair, twice for Savage, twice for Hogan in-game. And that's interesting. And then Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs, the Nasty Boys, are the tag team champions, having defeated Piper and Bossman, who were 3 times champions. We've also seen Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels getting a title run at the end of 95 into 96. The Road Warriors are up there as well. But they're 6-time champions now, the Nasty Boys. That's good enough for them, I'm sure. WCW, obviously Ric Flair went to WCW not too long ago. I mean, it might have been a while ago now. It was nearly a year ago, okay. He's not the WCW champion, but we'll see how who is and how that's getting on. So Chris Jericho's been hired by the WCW, which is a shame. Cruiserweight champion is Mr. JL. He won the vacant, the newly created title by beating Terry Garvin on Saturday night at the beginning of April. So well done to Jerry Lynn. Their US champ is Ron Simmons. He's a 2-time champ. I'm sure he's been a world champ as well a couple of times so far in game. Yeah, he's been twice the world champion, 2-time US champion as well. Nice run for him in his career. World champion is Arn Anderson. Wow. He beat the Ultimate Warrior back in September on a Sunday, so I'm guessing that was at Fall Brawl. Let's have a quick look. So yeah, he defeated, at Fall Brawl. And at Starrcade, he beat Sting to retain the title in a 93 rated match. Not bad at all for WCW. So Arn Anderson's the champion over there. Tag champs are Nikita Koloff and Ultimate Warrior. And the TV champ is Charlie Norris, of all people. Sure. We'll just quickly look. NJPW champion is Shinya Hashimoto. He's been there for just 13 days, recently beating Tenryu. CMLL champions, heavyweight champions MS1. I don't know what their most prestigious title is, but these are their champions, if that means anything to you. Right, I also wanted to look at ECW just for the fun of it. Their champs, see, they're lower down the list than we are now. We're there. ECW here. Their champion at the moment is King Kaluha for the 3rd time. Sandman's been a champion. I think Sergeant Slaughter's one of their biggest stars now. Donnie Allen, who is a jobber for us, and CN Reed are our tag team champions. Nobody real making any impression there. And their TV champ is DC Drake. ECW has never really got to the point of being any good. Sergeant Slaughter's their biggest star. Excellent. Right, we will have our All-Star Wrestling show in a day. So it'll be with us very shortly. And we'll see if the UWA starts sending us some development workers as well, which will be interesting to see. That'll be a nice little wrinkle to the save game. Now, it did just dawn on me before we get into the All-Star show that I'm basically replacing ECW. So we've got Raven as long-term champ, the Eliminators dominating the tag division, RVD as TV champ, all of our top upcoming stars leaving to WCW and potentially WF. We've got Lawler coming in for a short stint. I'm trying to sign Terry Funk. Basically, I'm just Paul Heyman, except with slightly more hair, probably less creative, but I pay people, so there we go. Right, we'll go to the All-Star show in Preston now and just make some more money. This is what Paul Heyman should have done with ECW during the mid-90s. Go and randomly run some shows in the Preston Guildhall, and you'll be swimming in cash. Apparently, Preston is a wrestling hotbed. Potentially. I need to remember who we booked for the show as well, don't I? I'll do that. We'll go through. Right, it will give us a warning if we try and give someone the night off who is booked. So let's just see if I can remember who we've booked. I think we've booked him and him. Chris, yeah. This is some good content here, as I just click on names and did I book Dino Bravo? No, I didn't. Right, Donnie Allen's booked Dwayne Gill. No, we should have booked Dwayne Gill, I think. There's The Rock. How's his popularity doing? Look, 10s. Excellent. Doing well. Hardy's we're not booking tonight. Mr. Kazana, thank you for joining us. Cronus has booked. Diamond, not so. Hoovy, I think, is given the night off. Yeah. Lance Storm. Right, we need to actually start pushing Storm as well. If we're going to try and get to a position where whoever his name is, Jericho, will put Storm over, I need to actually... Yeah, you're booked. No, don't want to give you the night off. If we need to get Jericho to the point of wanting to job to Lance Storm. That's what we need to do. So we need to both push Storm and get some popularity off Jericho so I can still give it to Storm at the end of the day. Right, this is a long process, and this is why I normally do it off camera. But we've started recording, so we should carry on. I think we're not booking Tito. No, we are booking Tito. Okay, right, that's it. That's good. Right, excellent. Venue for tonight, the Preston Guildhall. Yes. Finalised broadcasters. We want to be on PBS. Of course we do. Use that selection. Booking team is just me and Raven tonight. That's fine. Tommy Dreamer and Joe Kazana are currently available. I need to have a refresh of the booking team. Probably going to bring Dutch Mantel in as well because I think he's a good booker. Maybe even drop Jerry Lawler in there. Right, locker room incidents. Raven and Rey Mysterio had a blazing argument. Not good start. And that's it. Why are they arguing? That's what I want to know. Why? If we go here and have a quick look at our backstage, it's still good, I think. Still, okay, it's average tonight. Backstage rules are apparently having a negative effect on morale. Why? I don't know. It was very good for general. Entire company is very good, but because we've got everyone having a night off, all the friends aren't here. So it's just Jerry Lawler with his couple of relationships that are doing okay. Right, let's book the show. Our main event first, obviously. That's what we need to do. We need to remember to go main event first. Got Raven in a match against Stevie Ray, where he's also mocking the fact that Booker T's not here, because he's a nice guy, he's our Raven. Then we have RVD against Sarge, and... Oh, no, I don't want to leave the decision up to the road agent. I want RVD to win. Of course I do. Why wouldn't I want RVD to win? Right, and then the tag titles are getting defended against a couple of jobbers, and they're going to dominate them. That's how we're going to book tonight. Right, welcome to Preston. Not quite as glamorous as some other places we've been, but, oh, that's a job and that's a terrible match. Poor way to start the show. Took the crowd's enthusiasm right away. The Eliminators dominated against Donnie Allen and Ricky Nelson and got an 18 for it. Great start. Crowd absolutely hated it. We'll bring them back, though, with an RVD against Buddy Lee Parker match. Got them back interested. Gets a 49. RVD's in-ring performance, as you can see. When he's in the US, 70s. When he's in the UK, 50s. Popularity plays a big part in in-ring performance, apparently. He's not suddenly just got a worse worker. Makes his 17th defense of the TV title, though, and gets a 49 rating out of Mr. Parker. Ray does a poor job trying to improvise. I'm guessing, his angle idea ran out. I booked this when it was still there, but it's ran out. He's literally the king of mystery, so he's taking it upon himself to face the self-proclaimed royal family of wrestling tonight in Preston. And he will team with Tito Santana, and they lose to Brian Lawler and Jerry Lawler. Jerry was the weak link, apparently. 23, that's quite poor. But he did get the victory over Tito with a power driver. Max gets a 48. Again, not great, but hopefully the main event will pull it out a little bit better. Crowd rating is what's hanging. We should, with hindsight, we should have kept Finlay at least, if not a couple of the guys we brought over from All Star. I was very rushed and went through and got rid of them and was very money conscious. And now I'm less money conscious and I should have just let them stay. Raven makes fun of Stevie Ray and his attempt at a singles run. He laughs and asks where's his baby brother and questions whether Stevie could ever win without him. 63. Tonight is not the night he does that, though. He loses. 53 for the main event. This is not a great show, but it's a money spinner. Raven gets the victory over Stevie Ray. 16 minutes. Even flow DDT makes his 15th defense of the World Heavyweight title. He's very close to the record length. I'm potentially going to get him to go for a whole year now because Jericho's not going to win. Lost as one popularity in one region, which was Preston. Gained as an 8, which is Canada. 46 is fine. Okay, that's not going to cost us anything really. No injuries to report. Made 23. That's more than covered the cost of the TV taping as well. So a profit of 10 over the two shows. Popularity recap, as I said, Northern England's down, but still 48. And then Hawaii and Canada all get a nice little bump for being on PBS. Excellent. That's the end of the month, essentially, and pretty much the end of the episode. So, thanks a lot. Things to point out from this episode. should have kept some stars from some people at least from the UK with some popularity. Spending a lot of money. Got exclusive contract with Raven and RVD. Jericho's leaving us. And that's it. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks a lot, basically, for all your support. If you've got this far, we're like an hour and a half in today, which is a long old episode. We suffered without any big names in attendance there, so that's fine. It's been a long episode. Thanks a lot for watching. This is the precise situation as the end of the episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you are liking all the videos you're watching. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I know a lot of you are. But if you aren't, get subscribed. If you want to support over on Patreon, please do so. I will massively appreciate it. The names of everyone who's currently supporting on Patreon should be on screen either now or in a moment. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. There'll be another one coming again soon. There'll be some more Nitro coming up on Monday. We're very near to Slamboree as well, so that should hopefully be coming next weekend if I'm timing this right with my tapings. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you've appreciated it. I appreciate you. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. See you soon. Thanks, Manders. Bye. Words.